Hello,
Hello, family.
welcome back.
Welcome back to Hear Us Out. I'm Renee.
I am Kyrie.
And again, I want to say thank you to all of our new subscribers, new listeners, even those who've been with us since day one.
Since the beginning,
Since,
just thank
yeah,
you for listening.
yeah.
It's been nice to have this, and I'm speaking of nice to have something. I'm sure a lot of us are relieved at the outcome of the presidential election.
Yes, I will say that I'm still, it's like, it's not over until
Yeah,
it's
it's not
over,
over until it's
you
over,
know?
but I'm like there's like they've been partying, they've been partying in
Yes,
the
they've been
streets,
poured in the streets, and
all type of stuff.
yeah, and I understand where that comes from.
I mean,
You know,
yes, I completely understand
understand
where
where
that
it
comes
comes
from,
from.
and I would say that you take your victories when you can find them, and I'm
Okay,
not going to tell people not to feel
right.
relief,
Mm-hmm.
not to feel like we've dodged a bullet,
Right.
because we dodged a bullet.
Right.
I think he lost the popular vote by at least 4 million, but
Mm-hmm.
still came within striking distance of the
Right.
presidency, which is a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But he won.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden won.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people are just feeling relieved that just not having
Right.
to deal with Donald Trump, at least not as the president anymore.
Right.
If anything, we know that he has irrevocably changed the Republican Party,
Right.
and that they are intrinsically connected now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they walk back from that edge,
Right.
but the country seems to have taken. If we're not out of the woods yet, but like I say, it's a decisive step back
Mm-hmm.
from that precipice.
Right.
I'm sure, and a lot of people are relieved. They are
Yes.
happy,
Yes.
and like I said, I'm not going to tell them not to feel that way. But like you said,
Mm-hmm.
we're not out of the woods yet,
Right.
and
And
that
that's just, I think, my own
is
personal,
not.
you know,
It's not.
my own personality is just I the as far as I'm saying, the game is not over, or the game doesn't end until it's all zeros,
Mm-hmm.
like. And so I I'll just, I'm just okay, we'll see how it goes, and we'll take it from there. But however,
Mm-hmm.
to our next president elect, let's see, how
Yeah, we'll
how
see.
how
And
it turns out.
like I said, I know like a lot of people are feeling relief, but there's also a lot of nervousness
Mm-hmm.
and tension that's still around.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in the air,
Mm-hmm.
and it won't be going away anytime soon.
Yes.
Because it's not like America before Trump was, a
This
walk in the park.
shining, right, right, this shining
There
star,
were
right.
still problems then, and there, are problems, very prevalent problems
Mm-hmm.
now.
Right.
I say Trump, his presidency merely exposed,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
all of these things that were a lot easier to ignore when you had the veneer
Right.
of that type of a legitimate president,
Right.
right? But now we've been mired in this like illegitimacy
Mm-hmm.
that has held up a mirror and exacerbated all of the underlying
Right.
problems that have been in America for such a long time.
Mm-hmm. And there is this thought out here that a Biden's election, and i.e. presidency,
Hmm.
will, lull people, I guess, back to sleep, or make them, complacent in some sort of some
Hmm.
sort of way. And I don't see that at all. That's not what I think, and that's not what I see, at least from,
Hmm.
you know, from conversations and different things of that nature. As a matter of fact, what I see is more now of a stress of accountability. I see that, that there aren't folks who's like, oh, it's, now that Trump, Trump is no longer the president. Oh, we could go back to things as it were. I don't see
Hmm.
that at all, and I think that's a good thing. And I think it's a testament to the younger uh, voters and younger people in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great reckoning for them that no, they don't want things to go back, you know, to what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They want, you know, those promises of America fulfilled. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's what they want, and so it's good. It's
I
good.
think that's what we all want.
Mm-hmm.
I say that in quotation.
Yes.
But like I said, we all want it how we want it. We
Mm-hmm.
won't take it or deal with it as it is. And that leads us to the topic of this particular episode of what are the things that we would like to see
Mm-hmm.
from a Joe Biden presidency,
Mm-hmm.
seeing hopefully that he will be president, and
Mm-hmm. Right.
I guess civil war is declared
Uh-huh.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what type of foolishness could
Yes.
take place from there to then.
Right.
But like barring any of that,
Mm-hmm.
he will be president. At least as far as the rule of law is concerned, he is the next president.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what are some of the things that asking you? What are some of the things that you would like to see from a Joe Biden presidency?
I would like to see, things move in another direction. We see people who are not doing well mentally, socially, financially, and these things are occurring not because of their own personal feelings. You understand me? And so I would like to see us, move to solving, the root causes of so many problems, and to put forth a better effort to resolve those issues. And I know that may sound pretty generic,
Yeah. So what?
So, it's okay. Take, for example, the big thing that is plaguing us right now is coronavirus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, what Joe Biden's team has already done, is they created this task force of scientists and doctors and things of that nature, to really tackle as best from a scientific perspective, this coronavirus. So I'm like, okay, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to tackling income inequalities and low wages,
Mm-hmm.
That there are things put in place, to remedy that. When it comes
Things
to
like what?
increasing the minimum wage, actually expanding, real opportunities for small business to even get off the ground,
Mm-hmm.
to employ others, and things of that nature. So they have deficits, those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, just making
Doing
better
the simple
steps.
stuff.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I just I have a problem with the idea of doing the big, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you could do the small things and you do them,
Well, those small things are the big things.
yeah, and there are a lot of them apparently,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if you could do those small things,
But like I said, they're small to us. They seem common sense to us, but to actually do them will take monumental efforts.
Yes, and I'll
So like I said,
take for okay. The politicizing of wearing a mask, right?
mm-hmm.
Now, Biden spoke, I think it was yesterday, and he was driving home the fact that this is not a political issue. It's about looking out and helping, the next man to you, your fellow Americans and things like he he wasn't driving that divider as if, well, if you don't wear a mask, that means you help you. That means you hate people. He didn't take that type
Mhm.
of tone. Or well, if you wear a mask, then something, then you're a sheep or whatever kind of foolishness that the other line has been taking. He hasn't taken that kind of tenor. So I think he's trying to, at this moment, because he's not the president yet, that he's
Mhm.
taking the line of
De-escalation.
de-escalation and understanding that that we're all here
Hmm.
and we're all in this. No matter if you don't want to be, you're here, and so we have to work together.
Hmm.
I think that's the tenor that he's trying to that he's
Yeah.
taking. So yeah.
I would say that what a lot of people wanted from Joe Biden
Well, yeah,
is
yeah,
for him to beat Donald Trump,
yes. And for him to just be like, yeah,
to be the next president.
right,
That's what that was the biggest.
right,
What do you want to see from Biden? What I want to see for him is beating Donald Trump.
yes,
That's what I want to see.
right,
And he did that, so he's already up.
right,
He's already up points.
right,
People already like him.
right,
All is forgiven now because he beat Donald Trump.
right.
But now, like you said, it's starting from here.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what I would like to see, like kind of like echoing a lot of your points,
Mm-hmm.
but I would like to see a Joe Biden presidency, or really just
Mm-hmm.
any president.
Right.
Either Joe Biden or anyone who might come after him. You know, just try to address the desperation
Mm-hmm.
that has become so pervasive in America, and like it's not anything new. Like this desperation,
Right.
I say that it all stems back from World War II
Mm-hmm.
and us having after World War II, and seeing the type of mass destruction that that war has left in its wake, which led directly into the Cold War, which became an ideological battle with, like I said, the proliferation of nuclear arms and all of these things. It became, I would say, there was fear, like this fear that's just been in the air ever
Mm-hmm.
since then, because we all feel like we are walking on this razor's edge,
Mm-hmm.
that at any moment it can come tumbling down, right? That somebody could make a mistake. Like, how many nuclear weapons has America lost
Mm-hmm.
that are just like unaccounted for?
Right.
You hear about all these stories of they just gone.
Right.
So they're just rogue nuclear weapons in the world that are just gone,
Mm-hmm.
that are off the record, that are for all intents and purposes have disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
That's just America. How many have Russia lost? How many have China lost?
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are, right? That's just from a military standpoint. Not speaking about like just culturally,
Mm-hmm.
Where that fear and desperation has led us. We have become so used to living on the edge of that lightning bolt and thinking that it's going to strike at any moment, at any moment, and we're all, people always, I've been hearing a lot about like how, Joe Biden is going to, how should he, try to bridge the divide? How
Mm-hmm.
is he going to try to heal this gap? And I've said many a times before that I don't see the divide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's angry. Everyone's afraid. Everyone is tired and desperate and just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, like the Cold War was just like a 40-year tease, for what we all think is inevitable. And that's just an entire societal collapse, one way or the other. It's like we all are living in that, and we are seeing the consequences of it. We are seeing what living in that type of fear and type of desperation does to people, and it creates layers. And especially like here in America, where America is a country that if we have seen, if Trump has shown us anything throughout his presidency, is that America is a country defined by its fears. America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Mm-hmm.
It's the land of the safe and the home of the cowards.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like I said before, people don't care about freedom. They care about safety, and they will give up as much of their freedom as they possibly can if it means securing their safety. And like I said, and if Trump has shown us anything, is that is very much true.
Mm-hmm.
We are cowards. And Trump capitalized on that fear. Like I said, he was a hate monger who turned, like black people voted for Trump because they hate Mexicans. Right? Or black males voted for Trump because they feel threatened by black females.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Mexican people, same story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And white people, same story. All these fears, all these things, all of that is coming, and it all led to Trump. And all these things were always here, were always pervasive, and they have never been addressed. They have never been addressed. You have, like I said, you have a media that is playing up this divide. Mm-hmm. There's a divide. There's no divide. How does he heal look at this. Look at this frenzy that we have had to endure, that America has had to endure for who knows how long. It is a miracle that this country has been able to survive as in this form, just riding that edge, and I would like for Joe Biden to, like I said, and I think a lot of it comes from an economic standpoint. It all comes from the fact that everyone's struggling to pay their bills. Everyone's struggling to make ends meet, right? And when I said, and you're doing that because you're afraid of the inverse. You're afraid of going homeless. You're afraid of going hungry. You're afraid of going cold. And these are very logical fears. I'm not telling you not to be afraid of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you, the effect that it's having on the system, right? You're afraid of these things, and then you turn to these extreme fringe options, right? And you feel like you have to, because like I said, when we talked about this yesterday, when you're surrounded by the detritus and squalor that builds up from ineffectual liberal governing, when you have to deal with that, you feel like you have no choice but to turn to these extreme fringe options. Like I said, like I think I talked about a few episodes ago in an episode about war.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about the Nazis, and that a lot of them did the things that they did not from hatred or from this ideological, standpoint. It came from they felt like, that this is what they had to do to secure prosperity for their country. Like I say, it's much easier for a person to accept the type of damage that they do to people if they stop thinking about it in terms of the ideological and start thinking about it in terms of the clinical, right? Mm-hmm. A surgeon does a lot of damage to a person. He cuts them open, does all these things. And if a surgeon kills someone, right, we accept that because he was trying to save their life. And there were complications, and that you can't expect a person,
Right.
So if you're, like I said, if a Nazi and you're doing these things, and you're throwing people in the caps, the Holocaust, World War II, all these things are going on, and you're trying to justify these things to yourself, it's not, we got to kill all the Jews. It's the same temperament that a surgeon has.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have to do what I have to do, and if lives are lost, it's all in pursuit of trying to secure that, trying to secure that glory.
So
Because
that's
you have to remember like what Germany was before Nazis. Germany, like inflation was going crazy, the economy was falling apart, people were living in detritus and like I said, in squalor. People were afraid and desperate, and they turned to the most extreme option, the one thing that they thought was going to be able to fix and to fix things, and it only mired them in it deeper
mhm,
and deeper and deeper. But they kept doing it because they kept trying to justify it to themselves, and like the environment made it easy. Living in squalor, living in fear makes it easy to justify extremely harsh, extremely extreme
mhm,
radical actions. So I would like for Joe Biden, at the very least, to address the economic situation in this country, the economic inequalities that we are all facing,
mhm.
the system that is failing all of us, a majority of us, I would say, that
Yes.
is failing a majority of us. I want him to address that like first. That ought to be first on the docket because that thing, living living with those fears, trying to make those fears right, trying to alleviate that. That is what allows for extremism and the divide, quote unquote, to grow. That is what allow all of these things to happen.
Mhm,
You know, and it's like when we look at the Republican Party and what they have become. I said that's a cult. It's a cult.
mhm.
It's a death cult. And we look at these far right groups and all these things, and it's like I said, that's not the reaction of a people in power. That is the reaction of a people afraid,
Mhm.
of a people like I said, who feel serially disenfranchised, like they don't have a voice and they don't have a choice. And this is the only logical reaction for them. And they, like I said, and they are struggling. These white people, they're struggling. They're struggling to pay their bills. They're struggling to make ends meet, right? But they turn on the news, they turn on the media, right? And it tells them that they ought to feel in debt to us because of what we're going through. And so they feel like they're being ignored. They feel like they don't have a choice. They're going through this opioid crisis, all this stuff. Suicide rates going through the roof for these people. All of these things are happening, right? And then these far right groups come and say, well, the government doesn't care about you. They care about taking care of all these black people and all these Mexicans. They don't care about taking care of you. There's no one looking out for your interests. All nothing except of us. Nothing except Proud Boys, Ku Klux Klans,
Mhm.
I don't know, all the stupid
Yeah,
asinine
right,
names we come up with,
right, right.
Wolverine
Yeah,
Club or
whatever, right, right.
whatever. So you join these groups,
Mhm,
and it's not from a place of hatred. You just know that you're desperate and
mhm,
you want your needs to be met, and you feel like this is the only option that allows you any type of platform that is giving you any type of power, right? And we know that that's not the case because when you join these, like I said, all you get is angrier. Your bills don't get met. You just get mired into. You just get radicalized even more, right? Your needs aren't being met. These things aren't happening for you, right? But you can still justify it to yourself because you still have bills to pay,
mhm.
and the world is demonizing you and telling you that you're wrong and that you're on the opposite side for trying to address your needs, right? So you fall deeper and deeper and deeper into this madness, and it just keeps happening. It just keeps going. And it's like to the extent to where you join a cult,
Hmm. To
to where
where you
you
try to
deny
kidnap,
reality.
you
You
try
try
to
to
kidnap
kidnap
a
governor.
governor. Hmm.
You do mass shootings and driving cars
Into people, right?
into people like this Kyle Rittenhouse,
Hmm.
17-year-old boy,
Hmm.
you know, mired in this foolishness that led him to that place. To where he thought, that he needed to go to a whole nother state and pull some stuff like this.
Hmm.
Right? Like this is the problem. People are afraid. People are angry. People are desperate. But we keep trying to make the other. You know, and like you said, well, listen to them. What are they saying? They're saying it's our fault, right? And we know it's not our fault.
Hmm.
because our needs aren't being met either.
Right.
Right. So we point the finger at them because we have actual proof that the system is rigged in their favor.
Right.
Right. And then they say, okay, well, why, if it's rigged for me,
Mm-hmm.
why can't I pay my bills?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I provide for my family?
Right.
Why can't I do
you're looking the wrong way. Instead of joining us in the fight, you've been hoodwinked to believe that we are the problem.
Well, why should they join?
And so you have been given a target, right, for your desperation. And while you are targeting us, you're being robbed. You're being pickpocketed. You're being used.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're the buffer. But you don't see it that way.
Yeah, like I said, why should you join us? Right? Why should you feel like you ought to march with us when you feel like when everything on the outside is about, at least from your point of view,
mm-hmm.
about blaming you, right? Because you're on the outside looking in, and all you're hearing is about all the advantages you've got, right? And trying to address systemic racism and all these things, and it's like, and you're existing in a world where, like I said, your bills aren't being paid, your needs aren't being met, and you're like, where like I said before, and talk about us, like they talk about all, like how the systems on the outside, affirmative action, all that good stuff that we supposed to be. I'm like, where's this paradise that that the deep state conspiracy that the liberals have been able to provide for us, the black people?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that paradise? Where's all that money?
Right.
Because we don't see it.
Right.
I would very much like for you to point it out to us, but I'm sure they have the same feeling. You say racism, you say systemic racism, you say all these things that where is it? I'm living, I'm dealing with this, I'm going through this. So where is it at? Where's this white paradise where all of our problems are solved? Because I would very much like to go there as well. That's why they're trying to go back to the 1920s and 1950s, right? When you did have that. Or at least you were further above us, right? And it's like you keep, and it keeps going on. It keeps going on because people refuse to acknowledge that you have a right to be angry, right? From both within and without, white and black, you have a right to be angry. You have a right to be afraid. Because the system is failing you, right? But Fox News and Klan Proud Boys is telling you that, oh, it's over here, right? That you need to be angry with black people. You need to be angry with Mexican people and gay people and Islamic people. And,
whoever, right?
And I guess just all Democrats now. I guess,
right.
Like you need to be angry with them, right? And what are we saying? What are we saying? Like, no, it's your fault. Because you sold the country to a fascist who tried to turn the country to authoritative dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have.
Yes.
If, given the opportunity, who tried his damnedest. You did that. You did that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Place and blame, like I'm saying. Because we don't want to understand the desperation that leads them to that point. Or we don't want to give them the credence of feeling that desperation because we're only thinking about what it happened, what it did to us.
Mm-hmm.
What it did to us. Like I said yesterday, they're waving these Nazi flags, right? And we know what that feels like to us, but we don't take into consideration what it means for them to fly it, right? And we always look and talk about politicizing. We're always looking at it from a political standpoint. We know what that flag has been used for in a political arena, right? From an infrastructure standpoint. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said yesterday, it's the same thing with gangs in the black community, right? You put on you join the gang, you get your colors or whatever. I don't know the parlance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the language here. And you join these gangs, you do these things, but we know why you do that. And we know it's not because you want to be hard up and gangster and all that. They say all that, but we know that's not the case.
Mm.
We know of the opportunities you've been robbed, of the society that has, always punched down, that has set you up for failure, that has, just robbed you of your integrity, of your self-respect, of your, of any idea of a world existing outside of that foolishness and madness. That you feel like this is not an only option, but a viable option. That you can survive by doing this because you know that it won't take you out of the hood. It's never no gangster has ever escaped the hood. You always exist around here, right? But at least you're over someone else, right? At least you're because you got a gun in your waistband and lives are at stake. That you hold and it's dependent on what you're doing. You feel powerful. You feel like you're not as down as you need to be because you're victimizing someone else, right? It's like an abuse, a parent who's abusive to their child. That child is a bully at school.
Mm-hmm.
We know where these things come from, but we look at them, white people waving the flag, and that's just another game. That's just another game. They're waving that flag because of the opportunities that, like you said before, look, it was not there.
Right.
Right? Because of they're waving that flag because of the opportunities that were taken from them. Because of the detriments that they're living in. Because they have been robbed of their self-respect. But they think that we're the ones who took it from them. Right? That's why they're standing over there. Right? Because they can't be proud. They can't be proud of who they are. Right? They can't be proud. Not today. Today is, like I said, especially not today, was all this white guilt all around, right? All about this apologizing and all that stuff like that. They can't be proud. They have nothing. They have no history. They have no past, no present, no money, no options. Nothing's on their side. So they go. But they know if they wave that flag, they can be over us, at the very least. We've seen it time and time before. We see it in us, we see it in them, but we don't want to see it. We don't want to see it in them, or we don't want to accept it that way, because we know what that flag means to us. Mm-hmm. We know how it has affected us. We see the Confederate flag. We know how it has affected us. And I'm not telling you to accept these things or to not feel that way, to not feel offended, to not feel angry, right? But I am saying that if you say if you know better than act better,
mm-hmm.
right? We know where this comes from, right? At least we say we do.
Mm-hmm.
We can recognize it in us, but we just want to accept it from them because, like I said, we want our cake and eat it too. We want them to be the bad guys of our stories. We want to beat them. So we want what we have to come at the cost of beating them, in spite of them, because of the history that we're living in. Because of, the legacy that we have to live with, right? It has marred us. Racism has marred us, but we don't think about what it has done to them, right? Oh, we do think about it. Made them rich,
mm-hmm.
right? It made them rich. It gave you all this, right? Did it? That's not the reaction of the people in power.
Mm-hmm.
So what did it give them? Evidently, it gave them the same type of madness we've been dealing with. It gave them fear and anger and desperation. It gave them hunger, and it gave them no other choice, and this isn't about feeling sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
This is about just understanding
mm-hmm.
where these things come from,
mm-hmm.
And we have been at this edge forever because no one wants to acknowledge the fact that we're all being taken for a ride here.
Mm-hmm.
That racism costs all of us. That it hurts all of us. Black people have a hard time accepting the fact, especially over here, that we're American. Right? Because we know what being black in America means.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like it. It showing up doesn't feel like it.
Right.
And it doesn't. It doesn't. We aren't the very patriotic type. And when we see a black person in general being all patriotic, we look like,
yeah, what are you doing, right? What are you doing, right?
We know what this means for us. What are you doing out here?
For this flag, and red, white, blue.
Yeah. Go inside. You know, but it's 'cause we don't know. We don't want to live with what this has made us. Our pain has made us uniquely American. We are American. That's why we're still here. That's why we're out here protesting. Because we want to be a part of America. Because the struggle for democracy is a very American struggle.
Right. And it seems like a very, well, we would say a black one as well.
Yeah.
You know, because the democracy, and I'm using democracy in quotations here, it's only moved with us. It feels that way, that the democracy that we say that we want it's only been happening because of our movement.
Yeah.
Right? And so the struggle for democracy, it is our struggle as well.
But guess what? Being black means being American. Because we look around and come to find out everybody's struggling. Everybody's struggling. We are hurting. We're all trying to exist. But we're trying to do it at the cost of one another, because being black and being American are two separate things. Two separate things, right? I say that and that makes perfect sense. And this is where it's led us. We can't afford to think like that anymore because we know better.
Right.
No. Being black and being American, come to find out this pain, that's the one thing we all have in common. It's failing all of us. We know what it looks like for us.
Right.
We know what it feels like for us.
Right.
Right? And you doing all this, bro, I'm starting to get a picture of what it looks like for you.
Yeah. It doesn't look too good.
It doesn't look too good.
Look at you. I mean...
Look at us.
Yeah, look at us. Right.
Look at this.
Right.
Look at what we've been living in.
Drive around. You know, it's a delusion.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, wherever you are, New Orleans, Chicago, Los Angeles, whatever, right? Wherever you are right now, take a drive in your neighborhood. Then go up north. You in the same city. You know, and where you are, it provides for your perspective in your life. And where they are, provides for their own perspective as well. When you cross paths, the white person who's, I don't know, who's gotten lost, I guess, and is coming to our area, what is this? I can't believe this. They don't care about their neighborhood. They don't, and then when we cross over, it's like, oh, this how y'all living up here? So this is where the opportunity, quote unquote, the opportunity is. So now, all you want to do from our end, in our hood, is to get that opportunity. And for those who are already, I would say, up north, they just want to, for the most part, have been trying to keep that element out. But they don't even understand, both, that you're actually in the same place. You're in the same place. That's the problem, is that we don't...
Yeah, you drive up drive up to those neighborhoods up in the north and just think. Those people are being failed too.
Because they've been lied to. They've been lied to.
They're afraid. They're angry. All these things, because when you come rolling through their neighborhood, it all comes crashing back.
That's right. That's right.
Because come to find out, you ain't as far away from this power.
That's right. As you think you are.
It's right there.
It's right there.
And you can be in it at any moment. As a matter of fact, you are.
That's right.
It's only the aesthetic that makes you think, that puts you over us. You're holding on to it as much as you possibly can, just as much, like I said, as we hold on to our struggle. We put them there. They want to be there. Make no mistake about it. We put them there. They put us here, and here we go again.
Right.
Well, not again.
Right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Right.
This is where we've been. And like I said, we can't afford to think that way anymore.
Right.
And when I say we, I mean the people who know.
Right.
The people who know. Because like I said, if Trump's presidency and this election has shown us anything, like I said, it's not white and black anymore. It's smart and stupid. There are people who had, like I think that there's like 74 million people voted for Biden.
Yeah, and I think it's like 69 or
And
70.
like 70 million voted for Trump.
Right.
There are 70 million people in this country.
Right.
Not all. They're not. I don't think they're all racist. I don't think they're all. They all hate black people and stuff like that. But there are 70 million people who are comfortable.
Right.
With racism.
Right. As a matter of fact, they're even comfortable with fascism.
With fascism.
They're comfortable with that because, it'll lower my taxes.
Yeah, who are comfortable with these things. Who felt comfortable enough with Donald Trump to vote for him.
Right. Period.
70 million people.
Right.
That's the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's the work.
Right.
Trying to address the system and the mindset that makes Donald Trump a viable option for 70 million people.
That's a lot of work to be done. The thing is that
But
that's the work that has to be done.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's coming from economy, if that's how they're justifying it for themselves, then
right.
Fix the economy.
That's right.
Fix it for
right.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
We could get into the nuts and bolts of what exactly that means. You know how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said the last episode. If there are things that we say people need to be functioning citizens
right.
in the country, then give it to them.
Right.
It should be impossible for them to not have it.
Right.
Right.
We are not in the jungles anymore, right?
Yeah.
So let's act like it.
For the question of jobs, there's been so many studies that just show that there aren't enough jobs out there.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't enough jobs. The system is changing. Technology is changing.
Right.
And it's making a lot of these jobs obsolete.
Right.
When you think about like some of the more dangerous jobs, I think the most dangerous job in the country is being like a logger.
Yeah, logger. Yeah. And then I think like an oil, like working on an oil platform, stuff like that.
And
right.
When you think about trying to save these people's lives, trying to get them out of danger, there are only so many safety precautions that you can put into place, but their lives are always going to be at risk. You want to put them in safety, you need to eliminate the human element in that job altogether.
Correct. And
that's where technology is going.
Right.
To try and so that means you won't be able to have that job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the system, the economic part of it, has not taken that into consideration. It's still acting like those jobs are going to be there, that there's enough out there for everybody, and it isn't.
And this is why you have, politics, particularly Trump, talking about bringing back coal. I'm like, are you crazy? First of all, you're lying.
Yeah, in
a nutshell, you're lying.
They took your job. The Mexicans took. No, they didn't take your job.
I guarantee you.
Program took your
right. I guarantee you. No one, was driving up, trying to get it to West Virginia and these places, to take your coal job.
Like,
guaranteed
that computer program took your job. That robotic arm took your job. Right. Technology, it's being rendered obsolete.
Right. As a matter of fact,
but the system is.
We're moving on. We're moving on to other things.
Yeah,
to where
and the system and the system is still saying that you need this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it is taking away, your opportunities to earn this,
mm-hmm.
to be able to get this.
Right. Your government, your I'm gonna say your economic system,
mm-hmm.
it has not moved with its people.
It has not moved with its technology.
I'm about to say, but when I say the people, talking about the technology as well, because people created, they do those things, right? So it hasn't moved with that. If anything,
you're against it.
Exactly. I'm about to say, if anything, it's tried to slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are in green technology today. We literally could have been there, I don't know, 40 years ago. or really laid that foundation 40 years ago to where I don't know what we could be doing, right now. But all of that was slowed down, because greed,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy,
And laziness.
and
Greed and laziness.
that's what it is. But now it's a reckoning,
But
and
now that greed and laziness has led us to
this,
Now we need something else, but the system
and
is
when you
not
look
providing.
at what's happening around the world,
Mm-hmm.
With other economies, right? Other people and how they're moving. The idea that we could build a hospital in less than 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Could you can you even imagine in the United States, any place in the United States where you could build a hospital from the ground up, a full functioning hospital in less than 2 weeks? That's what is happening. This is what the desperation, racism. This is what it has cost us. A real brain drain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it has cost us. And still, folks will say, even with that, the United States, oh, its economy is still 2 times or whatever. I said, but look at what it could be if you did not have the barriers in place.
All this other nonsense.
Yes. Not only has it, okay, we know what it has cheated us out of. Okay? We know what it's cheated. What has it cheated you all out of? Since, we're all here. I get it. We didn't ask to be here. I understand all of that. But we are here. What have you missed out? And you have. Apparently you have. I see you out there in the street walking around with fake guns and all kind of other foolishness, because you're missing out. And you're missing out because you've been lied to. You've been had. But I understand that it's not being presented to you that way. It's being presented as, affirmative action and all of this stuff is to help, welfare or whatever, to help black people. That's how it's being presented to you. Look, you have to strive to be better than what has been presented to you. And I know that may be a hard sell, but that's just how this is going to have to go. You are responsible for you now. And look.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm not saying that everything is just on completely the individual level, but you have to, it's like I hear a lot about, at Thanksgiving time with the, like when the white family tells and crack these racist jokes, right? And I think there was this guy, I cannot recall his name, but in any case, he was in this, he was at this dinner, and it's for all these high elite people. I don't know what it was, right? And so someone was about to tell a racist joke, and he put a stop to that. And it, of course, it made, there was a level of uncomfortableness in what was about to happen in telling the joke. And by him stopping it, it created another uncomfortableness in stopping. Right, all awkwardness. Good. Uncomfortable, which is, So that happened. Now, the man mentioned that he has heard racist jokes before. He's been in these different, conferences and, these different places where that type of stuff was comfortable. But this time he just, I'm not going to do this. Now, here it is, pretty much all of his life, all of his working life and making the money that he made, that he has been in that arena. And this time he's like, no.
Where do you think that came from?
I think that came from maybe listening to others. I know. I'm listening to others and not and just taking into consideration, you know, and he decided to do something that was, outside of what he in his 50, 60 years of life have been drilled into him, and
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Is that
we know. Yes, I'm not. I'm yes, the conversations have to continue. You know, they have to, and you have to take it upon yourself to do something about that. Once you, I would think that once you learn, you know, something else, because I didn't want to say better. Once you learn, once you learn something else, that some of that would change your behavior. It's not a one and done. I'm not saying that. It's not a one and done. But like you said, once you know, and those who know, you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it's those, and you know this in the midst of all of this that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. So you have to continue to move that needle, basically. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, and I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep, especially if it is something that you are uncomfortable with, then
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep challenging that mindset. You have to keep doing that. But it's not, I would say it's not the individual anymore. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, you're not in the jungle anymore. It's
Right.
all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have to keep challenging it, we have to keep challenging it. Like I said, we need to keep having the conversation. We need to keep doing these things, because that's where it falls apart.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, because I know maybe some of our listeners are thinking this. How much benevolence should we give to conversation? And what I mean is, I don't feel as if a lot of this is being, well, maybe so, but is this a lack of communication? Is that where these problems are stemming from? A lack of communication? Or the things that have been expressed, it has come through conversation. Who hasn't talked more than us? We're constantly talking. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think we talk too much, but that's a whole other thing. There's a whole other conversation right there. Okay, so how much, that's the thing that the oppressed people have done more so than anything else is talk. Mm-hmm. Express ourselves. We're constantly talking. We're constantly trying to engage, mm-hmm. In this through conversation, mm-hmm. And so all right, I think I know the answer. So at what point, do we, how much do you want us to talk? Yeah, because that's the one thing that we have done. Or maybe the problem is that what we're saying, how we're saying it, is that the the issue as well?
So what is the question?
What is it that, how much talking, how much can we give to the credence of having a conversation, right? because I was going to say just, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to. I want to pigeonhole it that way. So,
Right. I would say I agree.
mm-hmm.
And yes, we have always been willing to shed a light on the problems in this country,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a lack of communication. It is definitely not a lack of communication, especially in this day and age.
Right.
It's a lack of understanding. Very point blank.
Mm-hmm.
We know it from our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We give no credence to the pain that they might give you from yours because we know what you're doing to us, right? There is not much latitude in master and slave, right? From the perspective of a slave. You are the master. You have done this to me.
Right.
To me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it has done to me. You need to accept the fact that that's who you are. That's what you've done. You need to be able to do that, and you need to be able to rectify that. And guess what? That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. You know, how much, credence do we need to give the conversation? And we've been talking a lot, but I don't think we've ever really had the conversation. We've never really had the conversation because anytime it comes down to a white person talking about what this has done to them, it always goes back to what you have done to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What you have done to me. They say they're not racist. We don't believe them. How can we believe you when we have to live in this? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. So, yeah, you've talked, but you've never understood. Never understood. How many times have we said, believe them? Believe them. All right, let's follow your logic. Believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Believe them. If these people are saying that, no, they're not racist, all right, believe them. So where is this coming from then? Where is this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're saying you're in pain, right? Well, they're not saying that. I know that's the
right.
They ain't saying that.
That's right.
Right? They ain't saying they're in pain.
Right.
But just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what they're doing. We know better.
Yes, we know. Mm-hmm.
We know better. We know what pain looks like. We know better. The people who know. We know better. You know better.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing games with me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And stop asking me these reductionist questions.
Right.
About what more do I need to do.
Right.
Shut up.
Yep.
I don't think you're about this.
That's right. Correct.
Like we say, this is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily think of kindness as a lifestyle, but evidently it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just be kind. Understand. Give them the benefit of the doubt at every moment, even when they don't deserve to give it to them. We didn't deserve to let Dave Chappelle thing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Do something nice for them, even to the most undeserving. Be nice to them. Because if we didn't deserve all the pain we gave to them, so we shouldn't deserve the kindness either. Here we are.
Right.
Same thing here. They don't deserve it. Right? As far as for every metric, as far as I'm concerned, they're human beings, so they do deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But for everything that they've done to us, for everything we've had to deal with because of them, they don't deserve it. Well, you give it to them either way. And you keep giving it to them. As much as you give leeway to, to your children, to your brother, to your family,
Mm-hmm.
to us,
Mm-hmm.
to your family, you got to give it to them. Because they're your family too. That's
Yeah, I know.
what it is.
I know.
And like I said, it sounds, and I know it sounds like platitudes, and it doesn't sound realistic, or you just, because of everything that we have been through, it seems untenable.
Right,
But
because
I
it
would
seems as if, are you asking,
Mhm.
hear me out, you're asking more out of us.
I'm asking more out of the people that know.
Yes, I was just about to
Yeah.
follow up with that. Is that it's not, look,
I'm asking
we've
those
been having
who
this
know better
to do better. And that's whoever you are, whoever you claim to be.
If you think you know better,
then you need to
then do better.
do better.
Because like I said, there are, in the last episode, there are some things that are non-negotiable.
Right.
They're innegotiable.
Mm-hmm.
I think non-negotiable
is the word,
you
right?
say innegotiable.
Right, it's
non-negotiable.
Right.
I can say human decency,
Right.
respect, These things are non-negotiable.
Right. How you treat
people. That's non-negotiable.
The thing is that has not been established, apparently.
Yeah.
That's the
For any of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I was gonna say on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, even though we know that there are more than two sides, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the problem. You know,
we haven't agreed on the very least,
right,
on how to treat each other.
That's right,
and that's what all of this is coming from.
Right.
So, like I said, if we know better, mm-hmm. if we know better, then do better. How much should we give? Everything. This is life. Mm-hmm. This is what it means to be living.
Right.
To do this work, the work of living, to make a better life for yours and everyone. That's what this is. Know what else do we have to say? I don't know how I was going to make it click for him, but you keep saying it.
Right.
You keep saying it. You keep doing it. If anything, this movement that has been going on is the longest, biggest, most sustained civil movement in the history of America. Mm-hmm. Not even the civil rights movement was able to last and have as much impact on American history as this, as what we're living in right now.
Mm-hmm. And you see,
you keep going.
Right.
Do they deserve it? That's a judgment call. It's a personal opinion.
That's right.
Right? You know how I feel about it. I'm sure I know how you feel about it.
Right.
But you give it to them either way. Mm-hmm. You do it either way, because that's.
And I already know that it's like, I think I mentioned maybe like 4 or 5 episodes, mm-hmm. Earlier about this "you go first" mentality, right? Is that because we are the ones who have been victimized by this, and we are the ones who are under the boot.
So it's pretty much show me you deserve.
Yeah, show me. Why is it that we have to be the ones to, I guess, lead this conversation?
Yeah.
And I would tell you.
You know why?
Yeah, I know why. Go ahead, say
you know better?
That's right. Because we know better. Because we know better. And it's not that, they have to lead their conversations too. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay? They have to have their come into Jesus moment, as you like to say.
Yeah.
Right? They have to have that moment too. But we have to be open, just like they need to be open mm-hmm. to the conversation so that we can grow.
Yeah.
And we understand that growth involves pain. Ask it, if, that's what that involves. And it's not to say that in this newer understanding and conversation that you won't have disagreements, that you won't get mad, that those things won't happen. I guarantee you that they will.
I don't know what argument.
That's right.
Doesn't have those elements. But like I said, decency, just common mm-hmm. decency, kindness. Right. Yeah, this isn't about how to stop the argument.
No, you're right.
Like I said, there's no one way to be a person.
That's right.
Right? You're going to be arguing. There's always going to be that disagreement. Mm-hmm. But in the steps that like I said, every person should be willing to die for what they believe in. Mm-hmm. But no person should be killed for it.
Right.
Because you don't kill people over ideals. You don't kill people, period.
Yes. Right.
That's just what it is.
Right.
So you believe in what you believe in. But there's a clear line in the sand, a place that we will not go. Because we have agreed that we just won't go there.
And I find that crossing that line, that's the easy route.
Yeah.
Whenever you cannot get people to come to your conclusion, let's just say,
then you want to enforce it.
How do you enforce it? Through abuse, mm-hmm. war, sanctions, whatever the case may be. That's how you impose it. And you think that your might makes you right. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. There needs to be a total shift in that. Mm-hmm. That is what is making you wrong. Clearly wrong. Look, who knows this? We know this better than anyone else. Mm-hmm. We talk. How is it that we became Christian? Over here, right? We talk about the abuse and the violence.
Mm-hmm.
So we know this. We know this. We
know better.
We know better. And I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish this experience on anyone. It fell on us. And it has taught. Yes.
Fell on us.
Yes.
Guess what?
That's right. Plymouth Rock fell on us. Correct.
Fell on them too.
That's right. And so, since we know better, then we simply need to act in that knowledge. That means that
having a clear line in the sand of
right.
places you just won't go.
And understanding that you are going to have those disagreements. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be all tulips in the field. I love tulips. It's not going to be that.
That's not the point.
No.
The point isn't about ending the disagreement. The point is about coming to a consensus on how we treat each other. At the very least.
Right.
Look, I don't want you to be racist. I don't want you to hate me because of my skin color.
Right.
Right? But if that's how you feel, bro, and there's just no change in you from that, you going down with the shit, bro, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just don't kill people. Period. Don't do that. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't rape. Mm-hmm. You could be a hateful racist prick as much as you want, but as long as that line in the sand remains, we can all keep going. Mm-hmm. We can all exist in some type of peace, at the very least.
The least, right?
So, in conclusion, feel relieved. Feel whatever you're feeling right now.
Right.
You have more than earned it. We have all earned it. But the thing that I would like to see more than anything from Joe Biden, is elimination, number one, of just this talk of the divide. You stop saying that because that's stupid. There is no divide. Mm-hmm. We're all angry. We're all desperate. I want him to address that anger, that desperation, that fear that has led us here. So we can be the home of the brave.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the home of the
cowards. Home of the cowards and fears.
Right.
And, we can be the home of the brave, land free, home of the brave. Of people who will not sacrifice their safety for their freedom. Who will bravely go when no one else has gone before. I'm talking some Star Trek stuff. That's what I want. I want Joe Biden to get us on the road to Star Trek world.
Right.
Right? Start that conversation.
Right.
Do that.
That work.
Address it. Address it through the means in which a president can address it.
Right.
But
the work, understand the work has to be done. Yeah, on our end. Right.
But as a president, you pass the laws, you make the amendments, you do the things that you have to do. Solve this economic crisis. Solve this energy crisis. Do it. You got 4 years, bro.
Right. Solve. Look, if you solve the economic crisis, you'll see how everything else will fall in line too.
Just address that. Right. And if it's an uphill battle, it's an uphill battle.
But it's a battle nonetheless, and it has to be taken.
You got to work for it.
Don't fold. Right.
Keep going. Keep doing it.
Right.
Like I said, I don't understand how Congress is not in session every day of the week. And that's the case. That's boom.
Right.
I'm the president. I can make a new schedule. We ain't no 30 days off.
We're not leaving here.
We ain't leaving this office building until we come to something. Period.
Look. That's what Lyndon B. Johnson did, and we know the type of person he was.
Yeah.
We know.
Like I say, Lyndon B. Johnson was not an ally.
No,
not until JFK died and he got the presidency.
Right, and even then,
he passed that amendment.
Right, and even then, look, he had his issues. Even then,
yeah, we know these people part of the Klan.
Yeah, Klan. The racism, all that. Come on, we know that.
I don't care, bro.
But
you got 4 years.
When he got those years, look. He was around there making threatening phone calls, walking off.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Do what you got to do.
Handle your business. Get it done.
Pass the law, pass the amendment. Get your, the whip. That's what they call it. The person who's able to whip up the votes and get people to vote.
Yes.
Get your whip.
Yeah, get some work done.
Right. Get it done.
Get it done. And I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear Democrat, Republican. Look,
Man,
look. Have y'all seen some of the spots in Kentucky?
mm-hmm.
Have you seen some of these? Look, I'm like,
those people need help. We all need help, bro.
Look,
come on.
And I know, look, man, look, it's insane what's going on here.
Yeah.
In this country, you know. So
places.
yeah, yes.
So that's what I would like to see. I would like for Joe Biden to address the economic situation in this along with COVID.
Well, yes, I mean, they right, they go hand in hand, you know, right
COVID,
now, particularly
climate change, and economies. You
they all go together.
You create that bedrock right there,
right,
and
driving home.
I might actually like vote for you the next go around. But this time I have to swallow my pride and be like, I hate both of y'all. I don't like any of y'all.
Yeah.
But one's a politician and the other's a fascist, so it makes it easy.
Yeah.
So, any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them in the comments.
Right.
And, thank you for hearing us out.
Thank you.